Adam Fletcher, candidate number 6314.
So I'm observing number 21 from the Blues, and if you watch here, he's got a good handle on the ball. He's keeping it nice and low. He's also got a good position. He's in the middle of the floor, so that he can see all of his teammates. Also, he waits for all his teammates to get into position before he decides to make a move on what he's going to do. If you watch here, he creates space between him and his defender and does a head fake, creating space, making his defender think that he's going to shoot, and he's gone past him, and he's drawn a foul because of it. Unfortunately, he has bad defensive positioning, and also he has a tendency to give up. That could be because of a lack of fitness, or that he's just not aware. If you see here, his back's completely to his man, who is over here. He should be in the heart. He should be on the help side, which is a bit further over, and also he has a tendency not to provide help side defence. So when an offensive player drives to the basket and his defender is on the far side, he tends not to drop in. If you watch here, he's about all the way up. This could be because of a lack of defensive vision, or that he's too offensive minded, and that as soon as a shot goes up, he's wanting to fast break rather than going to get rebounds and stop the other team from scoring. He has good footwork, as at the start of the clip, he receives the ball on the swing, looks before he makes his move. If you watch, he sells two players up in the air and scores around both of them. So, as his major weakness, I would say his defense help side. So when his player doesn't have the ball, I'd set up a 5-week action plan for him to improve this. This could be done as in the first week I'd set him up with what's called a shell drill, and he will nominate a player that he'll be marking, and there'll be 5 players set up around the 3-point line, and they'll just pass the ball and he'll slide into the defensive position, whether it be help side, denying the ball, or playing man-to-man against his defender. This will help his positioning, as in a game situation, when the ball is out on the opposite wing to his player, he'll be able to drop into the middle and provide the help when his teammate's player drives to the basket. On the second week, I'd get him to do what's called a closeout drill. So he'd start on the baseline, and at the free throw line at the half, he'd do what's called a closeout, making sure he keeps his hand high, and then slowly dropping down to play defence. After the first week of doing this, I'd get a player to be at the 3-point line, and he'd close the player out and then play one-on-one. So if he doesn't close the player out correctly, the player can shoot, but if he does defend the shot properly, then the offensive player will have to try and beat him one-on-one. And then the third week, I'll get him doing a defensive sliding drill, starting in the far corner on this side, always facing the wall, keeping his chest and his legs low, keeping his back straight and always eyes forward, with a hand where a defender would be dribbling the ball to stop a crossover, and his other hand in the passing lane to stop a pass. And he'll slide in a diagonally down the court, starting in the corner, sliding to the elbow, to the half, and then to the other elbow and back to the corner, where he'll slide along and do the same on the way back. He'll do this for the first half of the week, and then after that he'll get a defender, an offensive player even, to be dribbling the ball, and after they'll just slide to the elbow and then the half, and then after that the offensive player will try to beat him, and he has to slide to stay in front of him.
Yeah.
The fourth week of the programme, I'd get him playing a 2-on-1, and he'd be on defence. So I'd have a fast break with the two players. So and he'll mark the player without the ball. So he will have to slide over and stop the player with the ball going to the basket and force them to shoot from outside of the key. They'll do 25 shots with him playing defence, and he'll record how many shots he's stopped from going in. And then the fifth week, I'll just get him. It will be more of a cardiovascular training with him doing exercises on a running machine, because as it appears to get later in the game, he seems to give up on his defensive roles and starts to stand up more rather than being in the correct defensive position. So what I'd get him doing is I'd get him doing a 15-minute run on a fairly fast pace on a slight incline, and every minute he'd put the running machine flat and sprint for 30 seconds, and then go back up on the incline as well. Right, so that would be his training program, and that would help his defence all round really. The provision in basketball would be at a participation level. Most parks now all have a ring attached, usually just above the football goals, so anyone can come on and anyone can play. And also, what is done with younger kids at primary school is they use a small ball at size 5 rather than the size 7, and also the baskets are lowered to 8 foot so that they can actually throw the ball that high, and so that the ball's not too big for them when they're dribbling and shooting. Primary schools have like inter-school tournaments, which is done at a very basic level with only the main basic rules of basketball included in them. This is just so that they get a feel for the game without it having to stop and start too often. And also many National League teams have camps which are open to anyone at any level for them to come in and improve their basketball skills, mainly focused around dribbling, shooting and footwork. Then performance, this usually starts at secondary school, with there being national schools competitions where you have to progress through rounds, and you can end up playing in the Final Fours, which is the best 4 schools in the country, where the standard will be a lot higher, and the players will be a lot more experienced, and with all the rules involved. Then after that, there can be school to club links between schools and National League. So the team will come in and coach the school, and any players who they think are capable to play at a National League standard, they will offer them a place so that they have the opportunity to progress onto the next level of basketball. And then once they're in National League, they'll be playing against an area, so there's Stockport and Manchester and places like that. So you'll be playing for a much wider area, playing against the higher standard, with the rules a lot more stricter, and all violations and rules will be included in the game. And then after National League, you can develop onto regional, which would be northwest, northeast, and the only way you can get into that is being nominated by your team, by your National League team, to go to the trials and being selected. This is an important stage. This is the stage that leads on to being scouted for the national team, and this is the only team that these are the only teams that national coaches come to watch. So to get onto the England team, you'd have to get onto a regional team and progress up to the next level of playing internationally, with a lot with all the skills, most skills being mastered, and the competition being a lot higher, and then for English players, after they've progressed from playing regional and England, that would finish it under 18s, where they'd have to either join the BBL, the British Basketball League, which is a men's league, playing again, the standard goes up again, and then from that you'd have to get scouted from your games to play for the England or the GB team, to play internationally against teams like America and Spain. And then that's what we've got.
Health benefits.
Oh yeah. The health benefits of basketball are that it improves cardiovascular fitness, as it's a 48-minute game with a lot of running and changing pace. Often players are relieved with stress levels by playing basketball, as it relieves any hormone levels are reducing stress levels, as the heart rate increases and more exercise is done. Also, it improves explosive power in your legs, as players are constantly jumping and having to have a quick change of pace to get to rebounds and jump to the basket. It also can improve muscular strength, as you're constantly fighting for the ball against other players, and also having to battle for position, which only the strongest players succeed in. It's also a social factor, as you're playing a game with other people, so it's where you can make friends and meet new people, improving your social life, meaning that you've got more friends.
Okay. Could I ask you just to talk me through the coaching points for the defence help side?
Okay. Well, the help side, you'd have to get into what's called a half-on position, with your eyes looking so that you can see both your player and the man with the ball. Also, it's your feet are shoulder width apart, with knees slightly bent and back straight. This is so that if the player with the ball drives to the basket, you can move into position to guard them, and with your back being straight, if they run into you, then it's an offensive foul with a charge. But also, as your knees are bent, if the player with the ball passes back over to your player, you can adjust your position and slide over to go back to playing your man. So it's you're playing defence.
You've actually given me enough there.
Okay.
That's fine. Just a couple of other things. The programme was 5 weeks, and you talked in detail through each week. How long would the player work on each session?
Well, for week 1 with the shell drill, the offensive players would shoot the ball 30 times, and then for week 2, it would be done for 15 to 20 minutes, done at high intensity, and week 3 would be slightly longer. It'd be 20 to 25 minutes. So the athlete is improving the general fitness as well, the cardiovascular fitness as well, so they can play defence for the whole game. The fourth week will be done with 15 laps of the defensive slides, and also when the defenders put in, it'll be 15 laps of playing defence, and then the 5th week with the incline run will be done 15 to 20 minutes, starting at 15, and then after 2 days moving to 17 minutes, after 5 days moving to 20 minutes.
That's fine. I knew you knew it. Just had to remind you to say it. And the very last thing, when you first started watching Blue 21, you've given me 4 strengths and lots of weaknesses. And the strengths you gave me were hand position, excellent, head fakes, very good, draws the fouls, he's got good footwork. Were there any other strengths you could see?
Well, I'd said that he has good positioning, that he's gotten into the middle of the floor, meaning that he can see where all his players are and which affects his decision making. And he also has good decision making, as none of his players are trying to get open, so he does a play for himself and ends up drawing a foul.
Okay.
Yeah.